So what is turnkey investing? What is Indiana turnkey investing or turnkey investing for Indianapolis? This is one of the most common questions. I'm out here with my good friend, partner Joe Crump, and we're going to go over this question. So the format we're going to go is I'll go over the answer and then you'll go over your answer. Is that how we've agreed to do
Sounds,
this?
sounds great.
Okay, so you want me to go first or should you?
You go first.
Okay, I'll go first. What is turnkey investing? So check this out, guys. This is Investopedia's definition. A turnkey property is one that you can buy and immediately rent out. That's because it's fully renovated and repaired. As such, properties that fall in this category require very little time and effort to rent out. The term turnkey is derived from the idea that you can just turn the key and start living there. Also, it explains some of the risks here. Turnkey properties aren't always the cheapest option for homeowners and real estate investors because they don't require many or any updates. But what makes these properties unique is that they've already been rehabbed before they're listed. In fact, there's usually a renter, sometimes a renter in place, or the company will help you find a renter, and it can be rent ready. And the property manager is one who gets a call for management. So that's what a turnkey property is. Anything to add to that definition, Joe?
I think it comes down to just three words: done for you.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
done. You don't do anything. It's all
Yeah.
done for you.
Yeah, you just stay at home and write a check, basically. There's a lot of dangers, though. We'll talk about that in a second here. Who's it for? For one thing, you have to be a passive investor. This is ideally for a passive investor that doesn't want to do anything, doesn't want to leave your house, doesn't want, you just want to write checks. It's a buy and hold investor, and it's usually for people out of the area. The other thing to keep in mind is you need good money, good income to invest. So income and money are separate. You usually want to be making, I'd say at least 100, 150,000. Would you agree, Joe? You should be
Yeah,
making good money.
yeah.
So you should be making good money. And a lot of these sites won't tell you this, but you need to have money to cover the stuff that comes up. So you need to have good income and good money. I'd say at least $100,000. If you want to apply to work with us, it's about $200,000. We'll talk about that in a second. And you want to have a pretty much perfect credit history. So you need good money, good income, and perfect credit to do this. And anyone that says otherwise, I really wouldn't listen to them, Joe. What do you think? I mean, anyone, because I mean, people are saying you could get Amazon's got their new Arrive company for $100, you can become a landlord. Yeah, well, you think you're going to get to Jeff Bezos level doing that?
What's that $100? What kind of return are you going to get on that $100?
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
start looking at the numbers because the return is because I have no idea, and none of the articles I've read on Bezos' thing here is talking about what kind of returns they're getting, or what kind of dividends they're paying out, and so
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And anybody that talks about how you don't need any money or credit, we're talking about turnkey or doing one deal. You're only going to make money by doing buy and hold, and you have to have a team where you can do several deals. That's the only way you're going to make long-term money. You need to have good income. And if you don't have good income, check out our other stuff, by the way. We'll get to that later. And that's really what you wanted to get to get started with the turnkey. You passive investor, buy and hold, usually out of your area, good income, good money, and perfect credit. There's two main kinds of companies you're going to work with. Big companies like Roofstock, Narada, Howard Hanna. There's a few others we've listed here. They're huge companies. You buy them, you go, you work with them, you give them a bunch of money, and then you get money back, some money back. It's usually going to be low money. You don't have much control over it. It's not what we recommend. Then there's smaller companies, local investors, wholesalers, realtors that offer turnkey, or if you look up turnkey, they're doing it themselves. They specialize in this. There's a lot of things to look out for with those people too, though. But that's who you would look at. Those are two main categories, either big or go small. Smaller is usually going to be better for you. And you need to either screen these people or you either need to have policies they can follow, how to train them, or you need to have people who are trained already. The big difference here is some of these places work like eBay, these big places, and they connect you with locals. Others are actually locals themselves. They do the work themselves. Sometimes the locals will connect you with other locals, but those are the main categories. They're either going to be like eBay, connect you with locals. The locals are going to be doing everything, or there's going to be other people who outsource the work. The big risks. Do you have something to add there, Joe? Oh, all right.
what's that?
I thought you had something to add. No, okay. So the big risks here is the property, the location, or the management. This is how you're going to lose money. If you're doing turnkey properties, the big problem is the property, that it's either not going to be the property that they said it was going to be, and it's not going to be, they're not going to do work on the property. If you look up turnkey scams, this is what happens. They buy a property, they say they did the work, and they didn't end up doing the work. So that's going to be the first risk, the property. We're going to talk about how to avoid these problems in a second. The other parts of location
We're
and the
seeing
rent
we're seeing actually we see a lot of that, and we see it in the
all the
news.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, where they these guys will they encourage you not to go look at your properties.
Stay at
and then
home.
and then
Don't
they
worry.
finally and then when you get to the property, they can't get into it, and
Yeah.
so there's a lot of these scams out there, and you got to be
Yeah.
careful. worth about.
We started our construction company, and one of the number one reasons we started is because other investors kept calling us to help us for help. They'd be out of the area investors who called us asking for help for a turnkey property they bought from somebody in the Midwest in Indiana. And we'd go there and we'd see ridiculous things. Watch our videos. By the way, why should you trust us? I'm Awesome. This is Joe Crump. I'll cover this right now. Why should you listen to us? We've been in real estate investing forever, over 50 years between the two of us in Indiana real estate, Midwest real estate on our team. If you include their experience, over 100 years. We've been doing deals. We have all kinds of education. We have more videos and more training, more education than anywhere else on the planet as far as real estate investing, business building, wealth building. Check out our free stuff, our free videos, and more about Indiana real estate. And all that stuff really doesn't mean anything. The only thing that means anything is the outcomes we create. That's the number one reason why you should listen to us. Listen to the outcomes we have for our people. I promise you, there's no one on the planet that has created outcomes. When I talk about 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 grand, 100 grand a month and beyond, nobody has the outcomes we have. That's why you should listen to us. And also our other videos, we have real life deals. So if you're hearing this, you're thinking, oh, doesn't happen in the real world. We have hundreds of videos of real life deals and real life breakdowns. If you want to apply to become an investor with us, we will do everything for you. It's if you want to have 200K cash at least, and you want to have good income, good money, these things we talked about, just click the link below and you can apply to become an investor and work with us. We see all these problems all the time. One of the reasons we started this is because so many people are getting scammed and getting ripped off. And this is why we want to be able to help them avoid these problems. It's not that difficult if you do it right. But those are the three big risks. If you get nothing from this video, you want to know the risks, this is going to be it. The property, they lie about the property, the work that they did to it. The location of the rent, this is a big deal. They say, oh, it's a great area, or it's a okay area. And then you find out it's a terrible area and it doesn't rent for what you said it would rent for. Or to get rent every month, you need, SEAL Team 6 to go in there and get rent because these people know the law better than anybody else. They're going to tear up. All kinds of problems happen once they get a tenant in there. You have, they're just going to walk away. Their property management's going to walk away. And that's the third part, the management. If you get these three things right, get the right property with the right location, the right rent, and the right management, you'll be fine. That almost never happens with turnkey people. And the proof, as we talked about, Joe, is that there's never any success stories. You never see people with the
It's
turnkey properties.
all about the outcomes.
Yeah,
So if
that's all you have to
you,
worry about.
yeah, if you're seeing the outcomes and those outcomes seem real, where they're not just Fred, you know,
Yeah,
where they give you a name, they give you a location. Who are these people and where are they from? Are they real people? And what do they have to say? And how much detail will they go into talking about specifically about the deal rather than, oh yeah, Joe's a great guy, Asim's a great guy. We don't care about that. What we
right,
care about, how much money did they make? How long did it take them to make it?
right,
What struggles did they have? What worked? What didn't work? Because it's not all perfect. We know that there's going to be challenges in this process. What are those challenges, and what challenges did we deal with? And that's what I know we've done with a lot of our videos where we've interviewed our case studies of people that have gone through this process with us and that we've turned into millionaires, that we've made so many millionaires over the past 20 years. It's been absolutely phenomenal, and it's been a lot of fun too. But we've recorded interviews with them. We have hundreds of interviews that are recorded with people that have been successful like this, and those are the outcomes that you want for yourself.
yeah, yeah. It is just the outcomes, and that when you hear people say, "Oh, I doubled," when even when you hear some testimonials of people like, "Oh, I doubled my money," or I did a good deal," or "I'm really happy with these guys," it doesn't mean anything. And well, I'll get to that. So this is how to avoid those risks. So the big risks here, again, it's the property, it's the location, the rent of the property, and the management. The only way you're going to make money long term in real estate is buying and holding. Anybody that does anything outside of that generally is short term. There's no people that are making money flipping houses long term. Long term money is in equity. Remember our other classes, passive income is equity times production. So you want to focus on that. That's what turnkey investing is all about, creating passive income. Last thing here from me is how to avoid these risks is this number one, study their marketing. Look at the kind of work that they do and ask yourself, do you think that they're blowing everybody else out of the water? Because that's what it's going to come down to. You have to outmarket everyone else in that market and get the best sellers, the best buyers, the best lenders, the best realtors, the best people, and just study their marketing. If their marketing isn't the best in that area, I just work with the person who does have the best marketing. And I don't mean marketing for you, like for the turnkey investor, the marketing they have that they send out to other people for their buyers and sellers is the first thing I look at. The second thing is make sure you can talk to them. If you're an investor of ours, you're going to talk to me and Joe. We want to talk to you ahead of time and make sure you understand everything everything I just said, that you need to have perfect credit, you need to have good income, good money. This isn't going to be money at all. We're talking about how to turn $200,000 into $100,000 a year passive income forever. The bad news is it takes 10 to 15 years. The good news is you don't have to do anything. In the 10 to 15 years, by the way, you're going to make no money. You're not going to have any money coming out. You want to reinvest every penny so that you can have that passive income. That's the program is the done for you, the GRS, the get rich slow. You don't do anything. But we talk to you before we require that. When you apply to become an investor, we want to talk to you and make sure you understand this. So make sure you can talk to the person, because if you can give someone money without talking to them or applying or jumping through any hoops, honestly, I'd be really fishy about that. That's how Amazon works. You pay him $10, you can be a landlord in 10 minutes for $100. And you think Jeff Bezos has got your back? The next thing, find out actual definitions of success. Like Joe just said, when people say, "Oh, I made good money," what did that mean? So when somebody says, "I tripled my money over the last 5 years or 10 years," was that something they said ahead of time was going to happen, or did that just happen? It's just an accidental thing. You want to have a specific actual definition of success. When we say 200K turn into 100K a year, or 10K a month, 30K a month, 50K a month, 100K a month, you should stop this video and look up where are the people that are making 50K a month because they listen to you. That's what I'm talking about, that kind of directness. If you follow these, you will not get ripped off. You're going to see through all, it doesn't matter how many followers someone has. We have the number one channel on YouTube, for Indiana real estate, the number one media company, all the stuff I said with our experience. None of that means anything. All that matters is the outcomes. Also, get the exact algorithm in their formula. If you can call them up and tell them what kind of properties you want, and they'll do what you want, I wouldn't listen to them, because they should be telling you what kind of deals are going to make you the most money. It's like you go to the doctor. If you went to the doctor and told him what kind of pills you want, or what kind of, you wouldn't take that doctor very seriously. If you're like, "You know what, I think I need heart surgery." He's like, "Yeah, let's do it." You wouldn't take him seriously. The doctor tells you, right? The professional should tell you. So we tell you, this is our formula. These are 1% houses. This is how it's going to make you 10, 20, 30 grand a month, whatever income you want. Here's how to create that passive income. We tell you exactly, this is our formula. This is how we do it. And
And the
if it's
reason
good,
the reason the reason we know is because we've done it for ourselves.
right.
And we've done it, not it's not just we've done it for hundreds of people. We've done it for ourselves. We've created these portfolios for ourselves, and we're using the exact same techniques that we've been using for the last 25 years.
Right. Like I said, thousands of success stories in like 15, 20 countries. And so it's not, that's all. And when you have a formula, when you have an algorithm, you just want to stick with it, and you want to make sure that it creates a predictable result, because an algorithm is only as good as the results you have. Everybody wants that predictable output. It starts with a predictable input. And lastly, the single biggest factor, as always, if you get nothing else out of this video and you want to know how to pick a good turnkey company, look at their outcomes. That's it. When you go, just ignore everything, ignore the pictures, the videos, the promises, and look at how many people are experiencing the results of 5K, 10K, 20K, 100K a month. Ask yourself this before you invest with someone: have they taken someone from in your position, and can you see yourself in their success story? Like, that outcome is exactly what I want. I want to make 20 grand a month. I want to make 5 grand a month. Or would you just be okay with saying, "I want to own 5 properties. I want to have long-term generational wealth." You'll hear these terms a lot with turnkey investors, but again, you don't see specific outcomes. We're going to talk about this in every video, everything we talk about, because I get so many people that come around in Indianapolis and the Midwest, so many good investors that lose a lot of money. They lose everything because they trusted the wrong person. And had they just done this one thing, where are the outcomes? Where are the people that are making 30 grand a month because they listen to you? And if you do that, you will be a lot better off.
You've got
So
to
that's what I got.
you got to look at the math. You got to look at the math,
Yeah.
because it all comes down to the numbers, and the numbers don't lie. As
Yeah.
long as you put in accurate information to start with, the numbers will come out, um, and they'll tell you whether it works or not. And
Yeah.
everything that we do is based on, okay,
Math.
what's the best option here? When we pick a property, it's based upon, does this property work better than this property down the street, or across town? Which one is going to give us the best return in the shortest period of time?
Yeah. And one of the reasons people say their exact algorithm, if you call someone up like, "Well, we want to give our formula out for free," we'll give it out for free because everyone else is too lazy to do it. And if they do it, if they're willing to put in the work and the obsessive level of hustle that we're willing to put in, then God bless them. And they should be, they should be doing well, but they won't. And I'm sure of it. I can tell them how to do it. They won't do it. So that is what I have as far as turnkey investing in Indiana real estate and the risks and how to avoid getting scammed, because there's so many scams with, turnkey, especially Indiana turnkey. So that's what I have, Joe.
Uh, Tell them how they can work with us if they'd like to.
Yeah, so you can apply, just go click the first link below, apply to you can apply to become an investor, one of our heroes for the GRS to get rich slow. And that is again, you want to have perfect credit, good money, 200K cash. And that is the program is you turn 200K cash into 100K a year passive income forever. Bad news is, like I said, it takes 15 years and you're not going to make any money. You want to reinvest all that money. But the good news is you don't have to do anything. You don't have to leave your house. So just click the first link below, go through our stuff. And again, none of this is, you should really get totally educated. We have thousands of videos between us that are going to walk you through every process of investing. Really get yourself deeply invested, understand the process, our model, how we work, our mission, the stuff we do. We do a lot of great work outside of real estate and with the money. Make sure you understand that process before you apply. And then when you're convinced, when you're a 19 on a scale from 1 to 10, as we always say, you can apply to become an investor. And we will talk to you before we work with you. We want to make sure that that it's part of the application process, the conversation with us. So if you want to create generational wealth with Indiana real estate and you're an out-of-state investor, there is, I know that, I want to say that this is a no-brainer and there's no better decision you can make, but you'll come to that conclusion naturally. Just study this, use this standard to measure people, and you'll make a very educated, informed decision. What do you think, Joe? I
Perfect.
taught this guy everything he knows, by the way. I met Joe when I was 17, and Joe's, just Joe. I didn't know what copywriting was or real estate was or anything. This guy really knows his stuff, and I really appreciate. It's, if you don't gather gems of brilliance from Joe, it's a crime. There's a lot you can learn from Joe.
And vice versa.
Yeah, right, right,
That's why I'm working. That's why we're working together.
right. So your answer, anything to add to that, or
No.
good?
And,
Okay.
I think that God, there's so much to add. And there's one thing that I should say, maybe. There's two types of investors that we work with. There are people that have money, that have good credit. That's what the turnkey program is all about. We also work with people that don't have two nickels to rub together. And
Yeah,
that's uh, uh, because that's how we started. We both started with nothing.
broke.
Uh,
Worse
we
than broke.
created wealth out of nothing, learning how to talk, learning how to structure deals, learning how to put deals together. And it's two different ways of investing. Most of the people that are working with us on these turnkey packages are people that have high incomes of some sort, maybe a doctor or a lawyer or some other business person that has high income, and they need a good source to put that money because they know that they're not going to get the return that you can get with investing, that you can get with, that you're not going to get that return in stocks. You're not going to get that return getting into a REIT or bonds or index funds or any other stuff that you go out there and get. Real estate is the amazing long-term investment uh, that hedges for inflation because rents go up and values go up. You can also pull cash out of your properties if you need to simply by refinancing without any tax burden. Whereas when you cash in a stock, you got to pay tax on that profit. So there's so many benefits, and we're going to get into some of those in
And it still
detail.
compounds. The equity still compounds when you take the money out. There's
Yeah.
no other asset that really does that. Because if you
Yeah.
take money out of the stocks, we were just talking about this earlier, that's every penny you take out is one penny that's not compounding. But your equity will continue to compound with real estate while you take income out. It's designed for that.
And there's just no safer investment. People say, "Oh, I don't want to be a have rental property. It's
The
too
slumlord.
risky."
Yeah.
Yeah, and but there's no safer investment than free and clear property. I,
Yeah.
it, it's such a safe investment.
Just
Uh,
cash.
yeah, it's and they say, well, oh, it's not liquid, So, well, it's not that difficult to sell a property. I mean, how long does it
Yeah.
take right now to sell a property? Is 5 days in the market, so
Yeah.
it doesn't take long to sell properties. It is liquid, and it'll give you a better return, and it'll give you tax benefits, and all these things that we're going to get into in future videos here, and we've talked about in our longer formatted videos as well.
Yeah, we should probably stop there then with the turnkey, just because I just realized it. So this is about turnkey. We went way beyond that. with the turnkey. But the bottom line is with turnkey, we made clear what it is. You're buying it remotely usually, and all this stuff with real estate stuff. We're going to get into these benefits as well. But the main thing is, if you want to be a turnkey investor, if you've decided I want to invest in real estate out of your area, you got to evaluate the team and you got to look at what your risks are. It's going to be the property location management, like we talked about, and then ask these questions when you look at them, and you should be able to pick a good turnkey investment team. Good.
The biggest risk of working with us is trying to get us to shut up.
Right. That's right. And just take your money, right? And convincing us to work with you. Because it really is a challenge because we don't need to work with anybody really, but we want to work with people that we know we're gonna make an impact with and that we'll have the best transformation with. Okay, so that's our question then. We're good. You want to apply, the link's below. You can apply to become an investor. Hopefully that makes sense. Good.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, guys.